What we got here? What we got here? Like, at some point, it's tiring to watch, like, his World of Warcraft content, you know? It's still reaction videos, but, you know, like, he's a big fucking Blizzard shill. Like, who gives a shit about this 15-year-old fucking game? What about this? I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna make a video about him yet. Until I eventually grab enough of a platform to be able to defend myself against him, you know? Or until he's gone for good, you know? Because he's pretty dangerous. I don't want to say why, but like it's it's pretty icky dealing with him. But yeah, but hey, I don't know. I have no fucking clue about it. Well, here it is.
Let's go ahead and watch this one here. WoW Classic, what Wrath of the Lich King Classic won't be as good as it was in 2008. Is this going to be a depression video? Good. All right, let's watch it.
WoW players will always trade any amount of fun in exchange for the tiniest morsel of efficiency. The most minimal, insignificant advantage is worth more than any amount of enjoyment. This has never been more clearly on display than during these last few years of Classic. Remember that epic adventure through Azeroth everyone was so excited about before Classic launched?
Yeah.
Well, all it took was a few YouTube videos explaining how dungeon grinding was slightly more efficient than questing. To have all these classic Andes throw away a decade's worth of nostalgia just to hit 60 slightly faster. And who could forget—
To be fair, I would have liked to quest out in the open world, but you literally couldn't because you were on a PvP server and you'd just get stream sniped by 100 people. I didn't want to do dungeon grinding. I thought it was boring. Like, I would have rather done questing because I thought it was more interesting, but you couldn't do that.
When everyone would stack full world buffs on their main and then log out for the rest of the week just so they could have a chance at doing high DPS in some of the easiest raid content in WoW history. With Wrath coming out soon, are we doomed to head down this same path yet again? This is the last expansion—
No, man, absolutely not. This one's gonna be totally different, guys. This one, we're going home.
Sarcasm.
Who's right? In video, some kid wasn't born, Wrath was out. He totally knows why Wrath won't be good. He's right. What he's saying is generally right. I think that the point that he brought up about classic WoW and dungeon grinding, and there are people, by the way, who like dungeon grinding. And like, for example, there's a lot of people who loved classic WoW raiding, but they could give less of a fuck about leveling. They want to get to the part of the game that they like. Or PvP maybe, like 60 PvP. That's what they enjoy. So I think that it's a little bit reductive to say that dungeon grinding or how people leveled in Classic was indicative of them not really liking the game or them subverting their own desires. But I do think that it is a point that's worth bringing up, for sure. Here we go.
in the Classic trilogy. And
okay, here's a bit of a hot take that I don't know if you guys will be able to take it, right? I think World of Warcraft Classic is way worse than World of Warcraft Retail because it feels more grindy than Retail. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty more evident the grindy nature of World of Warcraft Classic than it is on Retail. I don't know why people want to fucking swallow that. I said same old fucking shit. I don't know.
this is our last chance at a Classic experience. Maybe we should take a few minutes to evaluate our approach. This efficiency-first attitude is just as pervasive today as it was back then, and it permeates every corner of gameplay, from leveling to gearing to endgame rating. While players are more permeates every corner of gameplay, from leveling to gearing to endgame.
Oh man, like oh, Joe, that's the thing, is like, I thought the staff was the staff of dominance. Wow, how did I get this?
Rating.
I still can't believe that Joker got kicked out of Method. He got kicked out of Method for ninja looting a staff.
Players are more results driven.
What the fuck is he talking about?
It did him a favor.
It's no longer about the journey, it's all destination. The only thing that matters is progress and achieving goals. And I want you to really ask yourself, is it really fun to play that way? A lot of people will say yes, but I think the kind of fun they're describing is a little bit different than the kind of genuine enjoyment that I'm talking about. The way modern gamers approach WoW not only flies in the face of how it was originally designed to be experienced, but is antithetical to having fun in the first place. The community expects players to use every possible advantage that's available to them, whether or not it leads to a better experience.
I feel like this guy joined a Sunwell guild and he didn't have his flask and they kicked him out of the guild, and he's like, you know what, fuck these guys, I'm gonna make a video about this. Like, Like, yeah, I'm making a video about this right now. Like, I've had enough of this shit. Yeah, because like I think that it's totally fucking fine. A lot of people like speedrunning Sunwell. And it's totally okay to be able to do that. The problem with Classic WoW was that there was this weird expectation that everybody had to play in a certain way. Everybody had to, you had to level up this way. You had to raid this way. You had to have this comp. You had to get this gear. When actually the truth is you didn't really have to do any of that at all. The problem is that if you, no, you're right. That's what I did. In my raids, if you weren't playing optimally, you weren't getting gear. Because I don't want to play with people that aren't putting in 100%. Right? Because if you let people come into the raid that aren't putting in 100%, then everybody else will stop putting in 100% as well. That's what happens. So if you don't do that, then you're rewarding people who don't put in effort. McConnell, yeah, and we didn't give McConnell a lot of loot. Remember that? He was very upset about that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I love meritocracy. Yes, it's a meritocracy. If you don't have a meritocracy, all you have is a race to the bottom. That's the only thing. Yeah, if you don't hold people accountable and give people rewards based off of their effort, you just have a ever decreasing effort of the game. Like, that's all there is to it. Now, of like anything you're doing. So I think the problem with Classic WoW, and this isn't as much the case, is it's people that have like a different philosophy in the game joining a guild and then being mad that the guild doesn't have the same viewpoint as them. So like in Classic WoW, if you join a guild and then your guild is like all getting all the world buffs, you know, it's an alliance guild, they get War Chief's blessing, and then you show up with Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer and fucking 2 elixirs, and then they get mad at you, you're...
Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck is he talking about? He's not talking a bunch of nonsense related to WoW. Like, Jesus, man, chill. It's a 15-year-old fucking game.
Wrong. Because you join this guild and everybody else is doing this, you're not doing this, you're wrong. But at the same time, if you get all the buffs and you get fucking War Chief's blessing as Alliance, you're a Fury Warrior, you fucking got everything min-maxed, you leveled up your blacksmithing, you've got everything, you go in there with elemental sharpening stones to molten core, right? You're big dicking it as hard as you can, and you get mad that you get passed over for loot over somebody else.
Oh, man.
Whenever everybody else is just
somebody
getting,
get this man a
like
fucking World of Warcraft train model.
Then you're the wrong one. Then you're the one who's wrong. Because everybody else isn't doing that. It's about fitting in and being part of a group. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like it's about you finding a group of like-minded people and then playing with them.
Actually, one of the most commonly overlooked instances of optimizing the fun out of the game is the ubiquity of endgame raid add-ons and guides. It's become entirely normal and expected for every player to use things that trivializes content they've never even seen before. Even when a new raid tier like Sunwell is
what's really bad about that is the fact that it creates a social pressure to do that. You now have to do that. It is you are required to do this.
Least, where 99% of players have never even set foot inside, you're expected to have read up on the fights and install add-ons that essentially play the game for you. And players...
I disagree with this sentiment. I disagree with where they're coming from with this sentiment. I think it's absolutely expected that somebody who is playing the game in a team environment has a working knowledge of the fight if everybody else is doing the same thing. I completely disagree with the idea that you should not have to do that. If you are part of the team, if you are doing this and everybody else is learning to fight, and then you get mad because they want you to look it up ahead of time and not waste their time, you're the one who's wrong. Yeah, it depends on the guild. Again, it's people like it's like if I go into a run and I want to clear the raid quickly, and then there's somebody who doesn't know the fight, and they don't ask what to do, and they just wipe the raid, they're wrong. But if I go into a pug, and nobody else has cleared it, and I'm mauling at everybody for not looking up a million guides and min-maxing it, then I'm wrong. It's, again, people that insert themselves into a group of other people, and then expect the entire group to conform around them. It is like fucking... peak, like, fucking main character syndrome, narcissism bullshit. I hate it. Fit in or get the fuck out.
Wait, hold on. Isn't that like the main character kind of thing, like narcissism thing going on in like expansions and like Legion and shit, or like Battle of Azeroth or something? You know, I remember Battle of Azeroth with the fucking we're treated like oh, the savior of Azeroth or some shit, right? Because of like the whole Enzalt thing and the Heart of Azeroth thing. Even though there's like a fucking bazillion fucking players there going on that do the same exact fucking thing, you're being called the champion of Azeroth. Like you were this narcissistic main character shit. At the end of the day, World of Warcraft is just fucking an old game, 15 years old, and like fucking shit game. Who gives a shit about this crap?
Don't even realize what they're giving up by doing this. They're trading the joy of discovery and
Holy
the deep
shit.
satisfaction of taking down a difficult challenge for nothing more than some extra purple loot. And it's so strange because we don't approach other games this way. They're giving up by doing this. They're trading the joy of discovery and the deep satisfaction of taking down a difficult challenge for nothing more than some extra purple loot. And it's so...
I find this to be disingenuous. I think this video is very disingenuous so far. The reason why I think this is disingenuous is it's their job. That's why they all have the same jerseys on. This is something they do. And also, like, I find that it's also disingenuous and not true because there is no implication that there are some people who enjoy the competitive aspect of the game. It's being presented in a way as if any competitive gameplay is automatically bad because it's considered antithetical to what Classic used to be, which is partially true, but why is it that what Classic used to be is always the only thing that it can be? It's reductive. I find this to be a horrible point.
Strange because we don't approach other games this way. There are guides and walkthroughs for just about every game in existence,
Yes.
but just because the answers are out there doesn't mean you have to use them.
No, I'll tell you one thing. If I'm not fighting the boss, if I don't know about the ladder, the hidden ladder behind the invisible door that I have to kill the guy for, and I walk by that ladder, I'm gonna hear about it. I'm gonna hear about that.
What other game do we use
We have some beef around here.
third-party software to tell us where to move and how to play? Let's imagine for a moment when Elden Ring was released, every single player, before they even turned the game on for the first time, installed a third-party add-on that announced when a boss was going to hit you and told you when and where to dodge.
It is pretty funny to think about. Yeah, you're right about that. Let me think. So other games that have things like this, Elden Ring, I mean, there are people that have like third-party mods for Elden Ring, but most of them don't really make the fight easier. They, in a lot of ways, just change the fight. Yeah, I don't really think so. It's only MMOs. I think the reason why, another big factor for this, is because it's a group environment. And whenever you are enlisting other people's time, and you're doing it in a constrained time period, like a 4-hour time period for a raid, let's say, or 3 hours, you have to make sure that you optimize that time. So because of that, that's why people download the add-ons.
Jesus Christ, I don't know if you guys find it like this, but like I find his voice grating and annoying. He sounds like a fucking man-child. No, I'm serious.
Think that would have any impact on your overall experience? It would make the game substantially easier, and yeah, you'd be able to beat it faster, but would it be as satisfying to take down a boss? Would plays like this still be impressive? Now, imagine suggesting to your fellow Elden Ring players that, hey, maybe it might be more fun to try and learn their attack patterns instead of using this add-on, only to then have them loudly proclaim, well, dying over and over again doesn't sound like any fun. They'll tell you it's a stupid idea because the developers designed the game around this add-on's existence, and why even play without it? Imagine people saying...
Well, I find that to be like a little bit different, right? I mean, like, if you want to talk about like retail WoW, I think that's true. That is not really true. Like Classic, definitely.
They have to use this add-on because they have jobs and a limited time to play. And doesn't everyone deserve to experience all of the content? And
there are a lot of people that have downloaded mods for games that are harder, like Elden Ring or Sekiro, that make them easier. Like, it's not that it's unheard of, it's that it's just not really as big of a thing. I think that it's very hard to make a comparison for a game that's a single-player game than a multiplayer game. Because, like, the goals extend beyond yourself.
Alright, Stan.
So, like, whenever you go into a group environment and you hold back the group That's a lot different than holding back yourself. It's about the culture of the game. Yeah, I think the culture is definitely different. For sure, I think it's bad too. Like, I want to say, like, I agree with this guy's overall premise, although I think the argumentation is not that great. I think that the overall premise that Wrath won't be as good as it was because of add-ons and like min-maxing is like kind of true. But I think also like there was a bunch of add-ons and min-maxing back then. Like, remember like getting items for your gear score so you could put them on and then whisper people. So whenever they shift click your name, it would show your gear score as being higher than what it actually was. And then you would unequip the items whenever you got into ICC. So like we always had like this stupid min-maxing stuff. It's nothing different or unique or crazy. It's always been like this. It's just going to be a new version of it every single time. Some boss fights are impossible without weak auras in WoW as well.
Wait, how long is the original video to this? Hold on, give me a minute. I'm not gonna obviously react to the entirety of this, is it? Hold on. Okay, he doesn't link it. The fuck? Hold on. Oh, original video. There you go. How long is this? 7 fucking minutes. He's at it again. Asmongold is at it again. Like, failing with constant failure in the video. A 7-minute video into like a 37 fucking minute video. Doesn't make any fucking sense, does it? No, it really doesn't. It really fucking doesn't. Jesus. I'm not gonna react to this fucking shit anymore. It gets too fucking long.